George Dewey was born on December 26th in the year of 1837 in Montpelier, Vermont. His mother died from tuberculosis when he was about 5 years old. His father, who was a prominent physician, was left a widower and in charge of raising his 4 children. When George Dewey was 15, his father enrolled him in Norwich University, a military school on the Connecticut River across from Hanover, New Hampshire. George received deployment in the Naval Academy in the year 1854. George was married to Susan Boardman Goodwin as his first wife in 1867, the daughter of a prominent Republican. His wife gave him one son, George, and died shortly after childbirth. George Dewey then married the widow of a General William Babcock Hazen. He married into wealth and lived comfortably, staying close friends with President Theodore Roosevelt. George graduated from the Naval Academy in 1857. He was commissioned as a lieutenant in 1861. Dewey was named commander of the Asiatic Squadron of the Navy in the year of 1897. This was thanks to help of his political friends and allies. When he gained command of the Asiatic Squadron, he devoted his time to studying the Spanish-owned Philippine Islands, just in case war were to break out. When war did break out, he sailed from Hong Kong to the Philippines in the April of 1898 and opened fire with his 4 cruisers. The attack was initiated with the famous command, "You may fire when you are ready, Gridley." This was one of the first attacks that initiated the Spanish-American War. George Dewey was a patriot who believed in the betterment of his nation. He went to the Naval Academy and rose through the ranks in hopes of furthering his nation. George Dewey later chose the Unionist side when Civil War broke out and sunk the Confederate privateer Alabama. The said conflict was that of the current Spanish-American War and the battles that he participated in. One such battle was the Battle of Manila Bay, set in the Philippine Islands, where he defeated Patricio Montajo and the Spanish Pacific Squadron. This was one of the very first victories of the Spanish-American War. His adversary in the war would have to have been the Spanish Navy and their powerful fleet. This is where he made his appearance and where he won his first victory. One of his greatest allies was none other than Theodore Roosevelt, who was the Assistant Secretary of the Navy at the time that George was given command of the Asiatic Squadron, and who later became president. Before the Spanish-American War, George Dewey attended school and then enlisted in the Naval Academy. He then graduated from the academy and was ranked as a lieutenant. He slowly rose up the ranks until he gained the rank of Commodore shortly before the war. After the war, he continued to serve his country as well as the Navy and was recognized for his efforts. He was sent to the European station as an executive officer. Because of his victory in the Battle of Manila Bay, he was eventually promoted from Commodore to the rank of Admiral of the Navy. Admiral George Dewey died on January 16, 1917. He spent the last 17 years of his life serving as part of the General Board for the Navy.